Coming up on Sports Paws this week, volleyball tries to keep their undefeated streak at home alive as they face off against St. Peter's and Rider.
Men's hockey had a home and away against AIC where they bounced back after a struggling game on Friday.
And we have Maeve Campbell to break down if and how the Quinnipiac field hockey team can make the Big East tournament.
All this and more right now on Sports Paws.
Welcome back to another episode of Sports Paws. I'm Emily Sweeney, and alongside me is Seb Lopes. We've got a lot to get into this week, Seb.
That's right, Emily, so let's jump right into it.
We're going to start off with some major ice hockey alum news in the NHL. Former Quinnipiac men's ice hockey defenseman from the class of 2017, Devon Toews, recently agreed to a new contract with the Colorado Avalanche. Toews signed a 7-year contract extension worth $50.75 million on Friday, according to the team. This extension will kick in next year as Toews will pay out the final year of his current contract in 2023-2024. Once the current contract expires, Toews enters into this new contract and he will be earning $7.25 million a year through the 2030-2031 season. Now, why don't we set it over to some of the current athletes and see how the volleyball team did in their home matchup against St. Peter's on Saturday. They try to stay undefeated at home in this matchup. They're coming off a win against Manhattan, 3-0. Dominic Ganesh getting hyped up for the game as they're announcing starters. Let's go into the first set. A serve by Dominic Ganesh, and she's going to get the service ace. She's actually going to get 3 in a row to start off this matchup. Then we're going to see a kill on the left side. Yamir Ganesh is going to get that one, go straight past the defenders. Their offense doesn't slow down as Leilani Kaijusa, the first year, is going to get a kill. Bobcats are going to take that first set, and then we're going to move on to set number 2. The Ganesh twins connection shows right there as you see Yamura with the spike. And then we're going to go to the left side, Alexandra Tennant. She becomes big in this matchup. A diving play there by the libero. And the Bobcats are going to take set 2 after a big kill on the left here. And let's get into the third set. Can the Bobcats go 3-0 in another matchup? Doesn't look good from the start. Service ace for St. Peter's, but they're going to come back. Get Kajusta on the dig there, and then St. Peter's not able to get the ball over the net. Then we're going to see Tennant, a big kill. She just jumped up and got that one off the block. Then we're going to see a big attack through the center. It's actually a tip. Pretty successful for the Bobcats in this matchup with their tips. They use the left side a lot. You see another big spike there by Kaijusa, and they're going to take that one in 3 straight sets against St. Peter's. And the Bobcats are going to look to keep their home unbeaten streak alive on Sunday against Rider. Let's take a look at that one. Trying to stay undefeated at the Burt Court against the Broncos. Let's get into the first set of action. We have Dominic Ganesh. She's going to give it to Diaz, and Diaz is going to tip that one over. Rider kind of gets a hand on it, but they're not able to get it over the net, so a point for the Bobcats. Then we're going to see it go through the middle this time. Lexi Morse with a big kill. Yeah, she's got some force behind that one. We're going to see Ariana Diaz on the service ace. Now, there were a lot of service aces in this matchup. Another one right here. Kim Selmoy is going to get an ace for the Bobcats. And then you're going to get the first year. Leilani Kaijusa, she's going to get in on this service ace action as she gets one right there for the Bobcats. And that's going to give them the win 3 straight sets once again. But let's get into this second part of it. You see a big kill. Dominic Ganesh, a dive there. What a great effort by her to get that set up. Another play. Now we're going to see some action through the middle. Lexi Morse, a big kill again by her, showing that force. Now, Alexandra Tennant, we've talked about her a lot. She really goes off in this matchup against Rider. A big block, but it's not only on the defense. You see an offensive spike on the right side. We're going to see another one, almost exactly the same play design. Set from Ganesh, a back set, and then Tennant straight down that line there. A big kill for her. Bobcats will continue on this offensive dominance. They're going to go through the center again. They really used a lot of their players in this matchup. That was Bailey Brashear with the kill. Then Leilani Kaijusa, she's going to get another one. Rider's defense just can't pick these up. They're too powerful for their defense to dig. We'll see another big kill on the right side. Tenon, we might as well end with her as she was a huge player in the matchup against Riders. Bobcats will take that one 3-0. Undefeated at home remains.
Now we switch surfaces and head over to women's ice hockey. They had a home and away this weekend against the Providence Friars. Let's see how they did in Game 1. The Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team takes on the Providence Friars at M&T Bank Arena. Let's get into the highlights. We start here late in the first with Kaylin LaMarche passing to Kendall Cooper, who puts this shot just wide. This would keep the game at a 0-0 tie. But then later on in this offensive sequence, LaMarche takes the puck behind the net and she can't find a shot, but she sends it to Nina Steigoff, who gets denied as well. Towards the end of the first, we see Providence dump the puck. Hannah Decker picks it up, who sends the puck to Lindsay Buckna, finding Audrey Knapp in front of the net for the goal in this one to give the Friars the 1-0 lead. In the second, we see Quinnipiac in the offensive zone. Maya Labad collects the puck, firing a pass to Sadie Peart in front of the net, but the puck is deflected straight up into the air, landing in front of Maddie Samoskevich, who rips a shot but is saved by Kingsley. The second didn't provide much action, so we head over to the third period, where Quinnipiac has possession in the Friar zone as Zoe Unis fires the puck and misfires, but Julia Neris is there to collect the puck and fired into the net for the first goal of the game for the Bobcats. We continue in the third as Nina Steigoff collects the puck behind the net and is able to fire it into the top shelf of the net with a beautiful shot to give the Bobcats the 2-1 lead. No less than a minute later, Jess Shriver receives the puck from Julia Neris, and she finds open ice to fire the puck on net and scores, giving the Bobcats a 3-1 lead. Then in the last minute of the game, we see Sadie Peart collect the puck, and she puts this one in the back of the net. It is an empty netter, but this one is very significant as this is her 100th collegiate point. That is a big one, Emily.
Yeah, a big milestone for her there. You see your team celebrating with her. They are all
excited. The Bobcats will win this one in comeback fashion, winning 4-1 over the Friars. Sadie Peart scored her 100th collegiate point in this win, but women's ice hockey beat reporter Katie Velukovic has more.
After being down for 40 minutes against the Providence Friars, the Quinnipiac women's ice hockey team scored 4 unanswered goals in the third period to take the victory. And one of those goals was very special because it was Sadie Peart's 100th collegiate point.
I think she's just a phenomenal offensive player, and to see the consistency she's had through all 4 years and then now into her 5th year, it's awesome to see.
Honestly, I think the support from the team has been surreal. I've never had so much support from a team before, so I think, it's a lot to take in, but I'm really grateful for the team that I have.
While Sadie Peart has gotten many accolades at Quinnipiac with 100 points in her career, her leadership presence means a lot more to her teammates.
This is actually, Sadie and I played together my freshman year and most of my sophomore year, so it's been a fun ride, and to be able to play with her again is fun, but she's a great leader and someone a lot of people look up to, and just for her to set such a milestone in her career, it's just exciting to be a part of. And I just wanted to get that puck for her because it means a lot to not only her, but the team as well.
The team was excited to celebrate with Peart on her big milestone. They now move their focus to Saturday's game in back-to-back series against Providence, looking to complete the weekend sweep for the first time in program history.
I think just continuing our recovery routine and working hard to get the right sleep tonight, and understanding we're going to feel a little bit different getting on the bus and then getting off the bus to play a game, and being mentally prepared to manage that.
The Bobcats look to continue their winning streak and extend it to 6-0 at Schneider Arena in Providence on Saturday. For Q30 Sports, I'm Katie Velukovic.
Now let's head over to Rhode Island for Game 2 and see how the Bobcats fared in this one. This one was a lot closer. It was a complete deadlock battle for the two sides as scoreless heading into the third period. In the third, Madison Chandler would net one, but Casey Brooks of the Friars would have her say and tie this one back up. To overtime hockey we go. Less than a minute in, Jess Shriver won the game for the Bobcats 2-1 with her 4th goal this year. Quinnipiac improved to 6-0, sweeping the Friars on the weekend. After all these highlights of women's ice hockey this weekend, let's see how the rankings have now shaken up. The top 5 stay the same with Wisconsin in 1st, the Buckeyes in 2nd, Colgate wrapping up the top 3, Minnesota in 4th, and Yale in 5th to wrap up the top 5 in the USCHO poll. The Bobcats follow up, moving up to 6th from 8th. Clarkson moved from 9th to 7th after an impressive 5-0-1 record so far in the season. In terms of dropping, Minnesota Duluth finish off the rankings on your screen, dropping from 6th to 8th. But the biggest thing to note is Northeastern dropping 3 spots, finding themselves in 10th for the first time in a long time. And with that, it is time for our first break of the night.
Yes, Seb, when we come back, men's ice hockey took on AIC in a home and away series, looking to bounce back from the loss to BC. It'll be interesting to see what they cook up for this stand this weekend.
And field hockey beat reporter Maeve Campbell breaks down the team's chances of making the Big East tournament. Stay tuned, folks.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction
and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Jules, spot me on this last one. There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back to Sports Paws, and thank you for sticking with us. Let's switch gears and focus on the men's ice hockey team now. The Bobcats had a chance to bounce back from the championship hangover with a home and away going up against the AIC Yellow Jackets. Both sides traded goals to 2-2 tie at the end of regulation. Jaden Lee and senior transfer Travis Traylor both scoring for Quinnipiac in overtime. Jacob Quillen came through once again in overtime, scoring the walk-off goal to give the Bobcats their much-needed first win of the year. The Bobcats headed to the bank with the place buzzing on Saturday with a chance to keep things rolling in Game 2. So why don't we roll the highlight? Quinnipiac at home taking on AIC. Bobcats are looking for their first home win of the season. This was a home and away action series as Quinnipiac beat AIC on Friday night 3-2. Let's head to the first period where we see Sam Lipkin getting the Bobcats on the board first with a beautiful goal to start off the game. He's selling and he's feeling good, but we move over later in the first period as Mason Marcellus will pick up a whipped shot from Jaden Lee, and this one will be in the back of the net for a 2-0 lead. The Bobcats take a 2-0 lead. Davis Pennington and Colin Graff picking up assists on this one. Again, still in the first period, Quinnipiac on the attack. Colin Graff with a nice pass off the boards from Jaden Lee, and he puts that one in the back of the net. That one was a nice goal, Emily. It's 3-0 Bobcats, and we are heading into the second period. Quinnipiac on a little 5-on-4 power play action. The puck comes in front, and it's going to be Travis Treelor, who get just 32 seconds into the period, gives Quinnipiac the 4-0 lead and puts them fully in the driver's seat. And then again in the second period, Ivari Rassinen from Jacob Quillen and Colin Graff to get a 5-0 lead. Here we go again, Quinnipiac attacking on the power play, and it's Colin Graff yet again. He is selling. The boys are absolutely buzzing. It's Sam Lipkin and Davis Pennington picking up assists. In the third period, we will see Christophe Tellier get his well-deserved first of the season, off assists from Filion and Tucker. Quinnipiac wins this one 8-0 for their first home win of the season. After having to leave the game against Boston College, Colin Graff made his return against AIC this weekend. Here's men's ice hockey beat reporter Gage Kilborn for more.
The Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team saw an offensive explosion this past Saturday night as the Bobcats took down the AIC Yellow Jackets 8-0 in Hamden. Now, the biggest storyline of the game had to be Colin Graff making his return after his injury against Boston College a week ago. Now, Graff came into the lineup with thunder as he had 5 points in the game for the Bobcats, and it was no surprise by anyone on the team.
Well, I think it was pretty simple. Yeah, he was pretty good. It's an interesting question. When I flipped that around, I mean, he had, I think, 5, 6 points. I don't know whatever he had, but he was great. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country, and he showed that tonight.
Yeah, it makes my job pretty easy. I just get the puck off my stick to them and let them make the plays. So yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Unlucky play that BC game took me out, but glad to be back. It was a good game. I enjoyed just being on the ice, the Q and Lip. Had a great time out there. Yeah.
Graff, Pennington, and the rest of the Bobcats hope their offense stays in high gear to take on the UNH Wildcats next week in Durham, a team that just took down #1 Boston University last night. Reporting from M&T Bank Arena, Gage Kilborn, Q30 Sports.
Now let's check out the latest rankings for men's ice hockey in the USCHO poll. After an eventful weekend to say the least in men's ice hockey, it has led to some serious shaking up in the rankings. Dropping out of the 1 spot all the way down to the 6th spot, Boston University has some people scratching their heads wondering where it all went wrong this weekend when they lost to the unranked University of New Hampshire. The Michigan Wolverines shockingly only dropped a single spot after splitting their series with unranked UMass in a disappointing Saturday evening performance, while Quinnipiac jumped up 1 spot to 4th after the sweep.
Now the weekly awards for men's ice hockey have been released, so let's see what we have on our hands. 2 Bobcats took home awards this week as Davis Pennington, the junior defenseman for the Bobcats, won Men's Hockey Defender of the Week, and Jacob Quillen took home the Men's Forward of the Week. Pennington finished the weekend with a +5 after the series against the Yellow Jackets, and Quillen had 5 points with an overtime winner and 4 assists as well this weekend. Bobcats now look towards their next non-conference opponent in the New Hampshire Wildcats. But why don't we move this on over from the ice to the field as field hockey takes on the #7 ranked Liberty. Now Quinnipiac facing #7 nationally ranked Liberty on Friday afternoon. Let's see if they have what it takes to give Liberty their first conference loss of the season. They're coming out of the huddle here, trying to exude some confidence to bring down this team, but let's get into the first quarter. We're going to start off with some penalty corners for the Bobcats. Pompeo tries to get it to Titmeyer. Titmeyer not able to convert. This is going to happen 4 times in a row in this first quarter. And all of these penalty corners should be pretty easy for the Bobcats, but they really struggled early on. You see the last attempt there, Titmeyer, she's not able to get it. It's deflected. 0-0 tie going into the second, but then a goal comes for the Bobcats. Pompeo to Pompeo, and they're able to get 1-0 for the Bobcats. Now we'll move on to a Liberty chance at a penalty corner. Liberty, they're going to get it into the circle, but it just goes wide. That was a very close opportunity for Liberty, but let's move on to the third quarter. Another one that goes just wide for Liberty, but then let's see a chance here. We're going to get it into the circle, a good dodge and a great strike, but Christina Torres on the save gets that one off her foot. Let's move into the fourth quarter. See 2 opportunities here for Liberty, 1 penalty corner, and that's going to be a goal. Now it's going to be 1-1, but just 2 minutes later, another penalty corner is going to be awarded to Liberty, and they're going to convert for a second time. It's going to be 2-1. Liberty's going to win it 2-1 and stay undefeated in the league, but the Bobcats have another chance to get a win this weekend as the Bobcats had a quick turnaround to their next game against Hofstra on Sunday in a non-conference matchup. Can they bounce back? Now, after taking the loss to the Big East opponent of Liberty, they're looking to rebound against the Hofstra Pride. Now, the last time these teams met were in 2014, so kind of unfamiliar. After a scoreless first quarter, we see an opportunity here. Capello gets it in the center. She's going to lift that one right over the goaltender. Bobcats will lead 1-0 early in the second. But just 3 minutes later, the Pride are going to strike back on a penalty corner, and that shot's going to go straight into the back of the net. A little bit of dribbling and finesse, but another high shot. Both teams going high against these goaltenders. Not much really happened in the third quarter, so we're going to move on to quarter number 4. We're going to see Titmeyer. She's going to insert it, go to the center. Shanahan off the stick of Grajales, and that's going to be a goal for the Bobcats. It's going to be 2-1 in the fourth quarter, but then the Pride are going to come back, get a goal. It's going to go into overtime, 2-2. Both teams trying to figure out in these huddles what they can do to secure the victory. But then Stella Titmeyer, she's just going to go coast to coast, dodging one defender, dodging a second defender, getting into that offensive 30. She's just going to get that right past the goaltender, and a goal for the Bobcats. They're going to win it in overtime. Watch this one again. She runs coast to coast and still has perfect form to get it right on that left post.
What a goal.
Very impressive there. As I said, they're going to win 3-2 in overtime. The Bobcats have put themselves in a difficult spot to make the Big East tournament. Field hockey beat reporter Maeve Campbell has more on the team's odds.
Thanks, guys. Quinnipiac field hockey is now 2-3 in Big East play after losing 2-1 on Friday against number 7 ranked nationally, Liberty Flames. Because of this loss, their next 2 conference games are crucial in their ability to get into the Big East tournament.
Only the top 4 ranked teams are able to head to tournament, and the Bobcats currently sit in 4th place, but so do Providence, Temple, and UConn. Only one team can sit in 4th. This puts Quinnipiac in a time crunch to do well in their next 4 games.
It's pretty much a must-win for us.
After Friday's game, Coach Klein said it's a must-win to beat Old Dominion and Temple. This normally would be true, as teams usually secure a spot in the tournament with 4 conference wins. Quinnipiac currently sits 2-3 in Big East play, but there are scenarios where the Bobcats could still make the tournament, losing to Old Dominion. Let's break it down now. Quinnipiac would have to beat Temple on October 27th in any situation, but they could still make it with a loss to Old Dominion. For the first scenario, one assumption that we have is that Providence beats Georgetown on October 20th, as the Hoyas haven't won a Big East game yet this season. Now let's talk about what the Bobcats would need when it comes to their Big East opponent, Villanova Wildcats. Villanova would need to beat Temple on the 20th, and the Wildcats would also need to defeat Providence on the 27th. In that situation, the Bobcats would be 3-4, tied with the Friars, but take home the tiebreaker as the team won against Providence earlier in the season. There also is a scenario where the Bobcats could not make the tournament despite having a 4-3 record. Let's break it down. In the event that Villanova beats Temple on the 20th and loses to Providence on the 27th, and Providence wins versus Georgetown on the 20th, this would put Villanova, Providence, and Quinnipiac with records of 4-3, resulting in a 3-way tie. In the case of a 3-way tie, it comes down to the team's overall record. Quinnipiac, at the moment, has a worse overall record than Providence and Villanova. So most likely, the Bobcats would have to win out the rest of the season. We can 4th place to confirm this. Only if Villanova loses to Temple on October 20th. UConn is not talked about in any situation. This is because UConn is lined up to play the 2 top teams in the conference right now. So we will assume that both these games will end in losses.
If everything goes right for the Bobcats, they'll make their first ever Big East tournament. I'm Maeve Campbell, back to you guys at the desk.
Now we've got to go to break one more time tonight.
When we come back, we'll see if the men's soccer team could snap their winless streak at home against Siena.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see if they can get that streak broken here. What do you think, Seb?
They've been playing poor, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and then we got women's soccer as well, and we got some more field hockey in the top 5 plays. Stick with us.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills,
not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to the turf now to see how the men's soccer team fared this weekend. It was a rainy, windy, and chilly Saturday afternoon in Hampden, and the Bobcats stayed cold, unable to find the net as the Saints came away with the chippy 1-0 victory. Sienna's Zach Gardner scored in the 80th minute after a Bobcat mistake to put the Saints on the board, and they never looked back. Quinnipiac was only able to manage 2 shots on goal all game, and they fell to 0-3-2 on the season. Quinnipiac has not won a game in well over a month since they beat La Salle on the road back in September. They'll try to get going against Mount St. Mary's on Wednesday. The women's soccer team also took on Siena, traveling to Loudonville, New York for the contest. The Bobcats were able to stay undefeated in MAC play, but this one was much closer than their past wins. Things were all tied up at 2. Heading into the 80th minute mark, that's when Quinnipiac's Ella Gagno got a good ball from senior Courtney Chokol and sent it in for the go-ahead goal. With less than 10 minutes to play, Quinnipiac escaped Siena with the 3-2 victory. They'll also be taking on Mount St. Mary's on Wednesday, making the trip down to Maryland. The MAC announced their weekly soccer awards today. Let's see if any Bobcats were honored. The Quinnipiac Bobcats had 2 of their very own win awards this weekend as junior Ella Gagno took home MAC Offensive Player of the Week after putting home 2 goals this past weekend. She had the clutch 82nd minute winner against Siena and also scored in the team's 6-1 rout of Marist earlier in the week. Meanwhile, first year Evelyn Key also took home Rookie of the Week, notching 3 points in the 2 games of the week. These included a goal in the win over Marist and an assist in the takedown of Siena. This is the 3rd week the Bobcats have had multiple players take home weekly awards this season.
Now, Seb, we went through a lot of sports today, a lot of big plays. I think it's time for the top 5.
I'm ready if you're ready.
Let's get into it.
Play number 5 is on the volleyball court this week as Damla Ganesh sets up Lexi Morse for the nasty kill. This one deserves another look, so let's look at this one. What a play. Well done, Bobcats, as they take this game.
Play number 4, Courtney Chokol makes a nice pass from the baseline, and Ella Gagno breaks the tie, going off the goalie's hands there. Quinnipiac beats Siena 3-2 to stay undefeated in the MAC.
For play number 3, we have some overtime field hockey action between the Bobcats and the Pride. Stella Titmeyer on the breakaway. She beats the defender, she beats the goalie, puts that one in the back of the net, avoids the defense, and gives the Bobcats the win in the non-conference.
Time for play number 2 on the ice. Colin Graff, and he's going to get a goal there. Shot the puck from behind the goal line, Seb. Very impressive.
Nice little spinorama, but I think number 1 is slightly better. Going back to Friday for play number 1, it's a tie game, and Jacob Quillen beats all the defenders, puts that one in the back of the net. The boys are buzzing. They're feeling it. They would head into Saturday with momentum going. I guess you could call him Mr. OT because he came up clutch yet again.
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have this week for Sports Paws.
Thank you to the producers and everyone behind the scenes, and make sure to follow us on social media at Q30 Television and Q30 Sports to stay up to date on all things Quinnipiac athletics. And make sure to tune in next Monday at 9:30 for another episode of Sports Paws.